Banished humans leave. Softly, but their absence speaks loudly. In the vast council chambers of the Galactic Concord, Eliana and Isaiah stood quietly, their human hearts beating faster than any alien could comprehend. The room was immense, a cathedral of shimmering alloys and floating light panels, where representatives from hundreds of species had gathered to witness the final judgment of humanity. Every eye in the chamber, compound, faceted, or luminous, was upon them. The verdict had come swiftly. Humanity was to be exiled. "Your species," intoned the High Arbiter, a being whose voice resonated like a symphony of glass chimes, "has proven disruptive, unpredictable, and insufficiently compliant with the order of the cosmos. You are hereby removed from the territories under Concord jurisdiction." Isaiah gritted his teeth, trying not to show the storm of emotions inside him. Beside him, Eliana's fingers curled around his arm, her touch both a grounding force and a shared sorrow. They had known this day might come. Humanity had always been different, bold, reckless, compassionate in ways that baffled more calculated minds. As the delegates whispered and murmured, some with pity, some with smug satisfaction, the humans prepared to leave. But there was no dramatics, no desperate pleas, no violent outbursts. Humanity had mastered the art of departure that spoke more loudly than protest ever could. Eliana stepped forward first. Her voice, soft but unwavering, filled the chamber. "We leave not in defeat," she said, and every alien head turned. "We leave in hope, for ourselves and for the universe. Watch closely, because absence can teach lessons that presence never could." Isaiah followed, his tone steady, filled with an unshakable conviction. "We are not gone because we were weak. We are gone because our strength, our empathy, our creativity, our relentless drive cannot always be contained in the cages of order you have built." The aliens were silent, unprepared for such raw confidence. They had expected humans to crumble, to beg for mercy, or lash out in violence. Instead, the humans radiated a quiet dignity that made even the most composed delegate squirm. Within hours, humanity's exodus began. Entire fleets departed from Concord-controlled space, their ships moving with unassuming elegance. There were no acts of sabotage, no destruction of alien property, no demonstrations. The ships glided silently through hyperspace, a ghostly ballet of restraint and precision. Yet, in their silence, humanity's impact was immediately felt. Trade routes faltered, scientific collaborations stalled. Alien societies that had relied on human ingenuity suddenly faced stagnation. Energy networks that had been improved with human optimization faltered. Strategic alliances weakened. The absence of humans was like removing a fundamental note from a symphony. The melody continued, but it lacked its depth, its resonance. On board the flagship Aurora's Grace, Eliana walked among the crew, who were busy coordinating the final stages of the journey. She looked out at the stars, and for the first time, she allowed herself a flicker of hope. "We have been given an exile," she whispered to Isaiah, who stood beside her. "But exile is just another word for freedom. Out here, we are not confined by councils or rules. Out here we can grow, we can create, we can become what we were meant to be." Isaiah nodded, placing a hand on her shoulder. "And when the galaxy realizes what it lost, they will come looking, not because they command it, but because they cannot ignore it." Their journey took them to uncharted territories, regions of space that no species had fully explored. Humans rebuilt, not in defiance of the universe, but in harmony with it. They established colonies on planets once thought inhospitable, engineered ecosystems that flourished against impossible odds, and developed technologies that resonated with the natural laws rather than bending them unnaturally. Back in the Concord, the alien delegates convened. The absence of humans had created a vacuum they could not fill. The void was felt not just in logistics or trade, but in innovation, diplomacy, and morale. Every species had relied, in some quiet way, on the human's peculiar blend of empathy and audacity. The absence spoke louder than any decree could. Years passed, and reports from the edges of known space began to filter back. Tales of human ingenuity, bravery, and moral courage spread like wildfire. Planets that had once been considered dead now thrived under human stewardship. Entire alien civilizations began to reevaluate their understanding of what it meant to be strong, to be advanced. Eliana and Isaiah stood on the observation deck of the largest colony ship, looking down at the planet they had just terraformed. Oceans sparkled under alien suns. Forests grew where none had existed. And life in forms both familiar and alien began to take root. Humanity had left the Concord, but they had not vanished. They had transformed the universe itself. "Do you think they'll ever come back?" Isaiah asked quietly, eyes tracing the horizon where the first human city had taken shape. Eliana smiled softly, a mixture of mischief and certainty in her gaze. "They'll come back. Not because they want to control us, but because the universe is brighter with us in it. And when they return, they will know exactly what they lost." Somewhere, deep in the heart of the Concord, the High Arbiter sighed. No decree, no council, no edict could undo what had been set into motion. The humans had left quietly, but their absence had awakened the galaxy to a truth it could no longer deny. Humanity was not just another species. They were catalysts of change, sparks of life, the unpredictable force that reminded every civilization that progress was not measured by obedience, but by courage, compassion, and vision. And so, humanity's exile became their legend. They left softly, their departure almost invisible, but the echoes of their existence reverberated across stars, systems, and species. Every time a planet flourished against impossible odds, every time an alien civilization learned to act with empathy and ingenuity, the human's presence was felt, not in body, but in essence. Eliana turned to Isaiah, and together they watched the sun rise over the horizon of their new world. In the quiet, unyielding expanse of space, they knew one thing with absolute certainty. The galaxy would never forget humanity, and humanity would never stop reaching for the stars.